Yo, what up? It's your boy Dan Gordon. Welcome to the season 4 finale of The Take.
Woo!
I'm here. We're on the set of The Take in studio with my boy Matt McCormick and Horatiu Zglimbea.
Hey guys.
And guys, do you notice like anything going on? Like, why are we all wearing headphones? Well, because you look a little framey. A little like your bit rate is looking a little.
Oh, that's because we got new cameras, but they're not new cameras. They're actually old cameras that we got for cheap.
Right.
Because of our budget.
Yeah, we're trying to take this on the road, so, you know, we have to get new equipment, and we don't make enough from YouTube.
Not because, you know, the government shut everything down and put everybody in quarantine.
Just kidding.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
What?
We are all secured in our underground bunkers. We are recording this April 5th, 2020. I'm on day 7 of mandatory quarantine. We are recording this amidst the COVID-19 crisis. My God, strange times, boys.
Very strange.
Can you believe, like, we started recording season 4 of The Take in August, and just how much the world has changed. Oh, what is this?
Whoa! Whoa!
What is this?
What is
A
this?
new challenger has appeared.
Oh, man. The creative consultant, the masked man.
Yeah, the masked man, that's right. I'm on a time delay, apparently.
You're f***ing this all up. We were perfectly synced and everything. It took us like an hour to get started.
Why does that guy have no beard?
You know, a lot of people got like quarantine beards going right now, and me and Matt, we both wanted to kind of like buck that trend, you know?
Sheer boredom is like, I wonder how I'll look when I'm 12. And I figured it out.
What are we watching today?
Oh,
We're not there yet, Brian. Damn it.
Yeah.
We're live.
Totally messing up the flow.
Jeez.
Horatiu, you're the host of this Zoom meeting. You can go ahead and mute his microphone.
Horatiu should be the host in general, given the whole...
Oh, yeah. What's the deal? You're looking very professional. I'm in my pajamas right now.
I approach all meetings, virtual or in person, with a very professional mind. You know, I don't want to come across as a slob or anything like that. I've set up this really nice setup, and I just think that it's important to look professional. On that note, though, I forgot I need to go get some cream for my coffee. I'll be right back.
Jesus Christ.
Boy. Oh, hell.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. So, yes, yeah. I just like to approach everything with a very professional mind.
Yeah, well, thanks for that.
Horatiu, could you empty your pockets for me real quick?
I can't... Oh.
I got in the shower today, guys.
Hey, thank you.
That
was really nice of you.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that when we actually meet in person, but...
Yeah.
Even though, like, it's completely crazy circumstances right now that we're recording, we should take a moment and really just, you know, pat ourselves on the back here. This is the season 4 finale.
Season 4 finale.
I met you guys when I was 20 years old. Like,
yeah.
I think I met Matt when I was like 18 or 19, and like...
Oh, you poor thing.
I'm turning 26 this year, and this show has just been like this consistent rock. Who would think The Take would be like the most consistent thing in my life right now? Because life is just totally unrecognizable, and now I feel like it's a nice cornerstone for everyone, a safe place for us all to come to amidst this crisis. Getting a little emotional, but
do you guys want to know something really sad? Is that the Corona company stopped making Corona. There's no more Corona beer. It's done.
Wow.
I don't know what we're gonna do for Cinco de Mayo. I can't drink Tecate.
Well, I think I'll know what I'll be doing for Cinco de Mayo is sitting at this desk with no pants on and talking to people, I think.
But, you know.
Dan's all trying to be very, like, deep, and we're talking about having no pants and drinking Corona. Sorry, Dan, please take us back.
Me constantly. The whole entire world is going through like a collective traumatic experience right now. Like, this whole event is going to leave us all scarred in ways we can't even imagine. Our turnaround on episodes is like 2 months. We have no idea what the world is going to look like when we release this. But this episode will be like an interesting little time capsule of just our state of mind, and yeah, a very historic time we're living through right now.
The selfish part of me is really hopeful that everyone's still in quarantine when we put this episode out, so it kind of makes more sense.
Oh, I've been breaking quarantine this whole time. If I stay in quarantine, that's how the terrorists win. And not about to let that happen. If we're going to have 9/11-2, I'm not going to let the terrorists win. 9/11-2, virus Boogaloo.
A lot of shows out there right now, like Jimmy Fallon and the creators of The Office, they're making a work from home series right now. A lot of opportunistic assholes just capitalizing on people's pain. Like Horatiu was just talking about how he wanted to. we are doing a quarantine themed episode, but we're not like, we're not going to do like a Cloverfield movie or some pandemic movie. That would just be trashy. We are going to be reviewing a movie that no one has thought about in decades. Brendan Fraser's Blast from the Past, 1999.
Yay!
All right.
Encino Man?
No.
Yes.
It's essentially Encino Man. He made the exact same movie twice, apparently, in the 90s. We're not only a kick-ass show because we've been around 4 years and we're still recording even at the end of the world. We're also a kick-ass show because we have the world's best theme song. Welcome back to the take. Yeah, so let's really dig into this movie. There's just so much to discuss here in this 90s rom-com.
I feel like you're being facetious. I think you're just kind of upset that we're reviewing this movie.
I had never heard of this before, and you guys both convinced me there would be tons to talk about. And
we said that there would at least be 20 minutes to talk about, and I think we can get 20 minutes out of it, Dan.
I feel like we've almost gotten 20 minutes without even talking about it.
Exactly.
When is the last time you guys saw this movie?
I made Liz watch it with me
this.
probably like a year and a half ago. We were just looking for some stupid movie to watch, and I was like, you know what's a great movie? Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser, and we watched it, and she liked it.
I feel like I watched it like not too long ago, definitely within the past 2 years. It was on HBO, and I was just like, oh, snap, I'll watch that. And
well, Matt, you suggested Forrest Gump, Joe Dirt, and now this.
Don't forget UHF.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes. So I feel like I'm getting a sense of like your comfort zone. What's like comfort viewing
real
for you?
easy cheese. Like if it's real simple and there's spots for jokes.
And I think this is technically the first rom-com we've ever reviewed.
Oh yeah. Are you guys fans, or is that like a neglected genre for you? You have a fiance, so you're probably the most well-versed of all of us.
Yeah, but she watches them without me. She actually just told me, she's like, this is one of my favorite genres. And I was like, wow, that is like my least favorite genre. So you're on your own there. I'm going to watch about werewolves and aliens.
I'm a fan of rom-coms if they're done well, which...
Yeah.
I don't think this one qualifies, but...
You don't think so,
Give a little preview of my opinion. Brian, have you seen this? I might as well include you since you're
what movie we're doing.
Blast from the Past.
Just keep looking weird. Matt, since you suggested this movie, why don't you give us a quick synopsis?
All right, so take Encino Man, and instead of him being a frozen caveman, he comes out of a fallout shelter because his dad, Christopher Walken, thought there was a nuclear attack in the 60s.
Yeah, it literally is like the same premise. And they also did a Fish Out of Water movie with Brendan Fraser in the 90s, George of the Jungle. Like, he did 3 Fish Out of Water movies in the 90s. Like,
hey, he found his niche and he's stuck with it, okay?
I'm going to give it 1.5.
We're not there yet, Brian!
If you look at it, though, the 90s were like a fish out of water time. Yeah. Like almost every major comedy from the late 90s, early aughts, because that's what we say for the 2000s now.
Yes, yes.
It was pretty much fish out of water. Like, I'm thinking Orange County, I'm thinking Joe Dirt, I'm thinking all those.
This movie kind of reminded me of Back to the Future, how like it was kind of supposed to be a nostalgic movie for the 50s, and then as it's aged, it's become a nostalgic movie for the 80s. Mm-hmm. In the same way, this movie is now like 2 decades old, and it kind of like makes you remember a simpler time where movies really were just much more straightforward, just 3-act structure, plug and chug.
Which I really appreciated, by the way. It made this 2-hour watch just breeze.
It really did, actually. I think they spent not enough time on the part that was my favorite / the most important part.
Which was?
In the fallout shelter, man. I want to see they like breeze through that like in like 25, 30 minutes. And I was like, come on, give me more.
That is a problem with the movie, is that it peaks very early. The setup is great. And Christopher Walken totally steals the show. Like, he's so great that you're just missing him for the rest of the movie. Especially like his freak out scene when the plane first crashes and he's oh God, my surface meters! Oh no! You can't even like tell what he's saying.
No! It's happening! Look at that heat! Oh, my surface indicators! Not that! Oh Lord! It's happening!
I had to like go look up the script afterwards to find out what he was even saying there.
And the mom is just sitting there with the pot roast, just like, I hope my pot roast is fine.
Christopher Walken's great. Like, I've heard his acting style.
You're great.
Appreciate the positivity, Brian. It's hard to come by these days.
Yeah, you, Dan.
I've heard like Christopher Walken's acting style described as like jazz, and you can totally see that. Like, you just like, it's totally random. Like, the inflection he'll put on a word is just like completely random.
Christopher Walken is like if you gave a saxophone a human voice. I feel like that's perfect.
Whoa. Yeah, you got a Christopher Walken impression. Yeah.
Nobody has a good Christopher Walken.
Let me tell you.
I need some more cowbell.
Whoa!
I loved everything about him.
I love you. I love you.
I feel like nobody was acting in this movie. Everyone was very just straightforward. Just what the book says, just repeat it. Tony, like the Alicia Silverstone's roommate, just so empty of a character. He's obviously just there for lines.
I actually liked his character because, like, for this being a 90s movie, I thought that was actually like a pretty progressive representation of a homosexual character.
Well, wasn't it though? Because at the end, don't forget, like when he's trying to get away in the truck, he's like, and thanks for being happy all the time.
Watch way. Hi, Adam. Thanks for always being happy. What?
Gay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only joke they made. And other than that, there was like no reference to the fact that he was gay.
Yeah.
He was just a cool character. Yeah. Let's talk about Brendan Fraser.
Dude, Brendan Fraser. I miss that guy.
I miss him.
Right?
I feel like, yeah, he's been like the subject of like a disproportionate amount of articles online or like videos saying like what happened to this guy. It's like, what happens to any movie star? They have their time in the sun. And
it was just really unfortunate because I loved the Mummy movies, 1 and 2, not that dog third one. But Mummy and Mummy Returns, he did such a good job as an action star that I was like, this guy is going to be around and this guy's going to be in a ton of things. Turns out, nope, he just was gone after that, did a couple...
No, he was totally around. He did Journey to the Center of the Earth, the first one, and then his wife took him to the cleaners in a divorce, and that's when he got sad, and that's when he got replaced by The Rock.
God damn it, women always ruin actors' lives.
So does The Rock. The Rock will take every f***ing role. The Rock will swoop your role right out from under you. He don't care. He's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. No one smelled what he was cooking.
Right, and is it because, was it retribution for Brendan Fraser killing him in The Mummy Returns? Maybe.
Probably. Can you drop that CGI moment right here, The Rock in The Mummy Returns up?
Absolutely.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock says...
You know, I've seen all 3 Mummy movies. I couldn't tell you a thing about them.
What? You couldn't?
There's a mummy.
I don't remember a thing.
In the first one, they go into the desert and they uncover...
The Book of the Dead. And then in the second one, they uncovered the Scorpion King.
Yeah.
And in the third one, they had to recast everybody. So I don't know what happened there.
And it was set in China instead of in Egypt because there's apparently mummies everywhere. Whoa.
We're in this situation because of China.
All right. Wow.
It is interesting that The Rock was the one to replace Brendan Fraser in that franchise because, like, I feel like The Rock is, like, just the sign of the times of where we're heading for the male lead star and what that represents.
Yeah, like, super built.
Yeah, like, Brendan Fraser was, like, a heartthrob, but at the same time, what I like about him was that, like, he wasn't afraid to make a fool of himself, like, in this movie. And The Rock, he's like, I read that in his most recent movie, Hobbs and Shaw, like, him and... what's his face?
Jason Statham.
Yeah. They have in their contract they can only get beat up like a certain amount of times and they like can't lose a fight and it's like so uninteresting, you know? Like no sense of humor about themselves.
We're regressing actually because like I feel like that was the way that male Hollywood stars used to be back in like the golden age, you know? They didn't want to be made to look stupid. And then we kind of got better, and everyone was okay with looking like a fool from time to time. And then now it is back to I gotta look like a macho man.
Yeah, everyone's too self-aware. I think it's like because of the internet and like people are afraid of memes. Like Michael Jordan at Kobe Bryant's funeral was like crying, and he was like already like commentating on how this is gonna turn into a meme, you know? And it's like
now he's got me. I'll have to look at another crime meme for the next. I told my wife I wasn't gonna do this because I didn't want to see that for the next 3 or 4 years.
People are afraid to take risks in performance these days because they can just see it turning into like an animated GIF, you know, and ruining their career.
I do miss Brendan Fraser. I mean, he was great, and
he's in Doom Patrol. He's got an Amazon Prime show, it's a DC thing. That's like your thing, Horatiu.
Isn't his face covered the whole time in that show?
Yeah, he has a helmet over his head, right?
But he's still under the costume.
And who the is watching Doom Patrol?
I'm not watching it, I swear.
That does seem like the type of thing you would watch, though.
Speaking of DC, Horatiu, did you get your pre-order in for Gotham High?
I don't even know what that is.
That's the new young adult reboot of Batman, where he's half Chinese and Alfred is his gay uncle, and the Joker and Poison Ivy are all together at Gotham High.
Wow.
That sounds incredible.
Hey guys.
What's up, Brian?
Let's go to a commercial.
What about this day?
Yeah!
I was not a big fan of this movie, but I will say that like I did appreciate just the fact that it was just unapologetically sincere, you know?
Yeah.
It's a simpler time, you know?
Well, and it's funny because we don't make movies like that anymore. Like every movie in the 90s and early 2000s was this dumb, like, here's some 90s music over top of it with some vocals that are like early 90s.
Yeah,
like,
the soundtrack to this is pretty like...
It's terrible.
So dated. Did you see the trailer? I watched the trailer for this.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Matt,
Dan, go.
No, you go. The trailer for this had like Green Day playing and stuff.
Bonsoir, mademoiselle.
Let me guess something. This is your first visit to La La Land.
Exactly, and I feel like that's every 90s and early 2000s movies. It's literally, like you said, a 3-act structure. There's an unrealistic, like, love connection, and everything's just a happy ending. Oh, and like every 90s movies, this has a dance number.
Yeah, we were kind of like bantering about Westworld before this, and like narratives need to like be meta and fold in on top of themselves these days. And sometimes it is nice to just like sit down and watch a no frills movie.
Yep.
Well, this was all pre-Matrix, you know? That's what really messed things up for the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone trying to be Keanu and bullet time.
That's when everything got way too self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt has defined the timeline of Hollywood, and it's always pre-Matrix and post-Matrix. I think he said that in like 2 of the last reviews that we did.
99 was kind of a transition in cinema for everybody. That year, episode 1 came out. The Matrix came out.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of live action, kind of more adult things came out.
That were very CGI heavy.
But also, like, appealed to people our age.
No, that's why he wanted to keep season 4 a pre-90s, you know?
That's
just
true.
that's his safe space.
That's true. That's
I
true.
mean, this is a good COVID-19 watch because it is a comfortable watch, and yeah, it does have that aspect of quarantine, self-quarantine.
It's definitely not at all what being quarantined with your wife or husband and your son for 35 years would have been.
I love Sissy Spacek just becoming an alcoholic.
Yeah,
throughout
there's 2 people in every, or for all quarantines. It's drunken on a patio furniture or like going through the checklist and teaching your kid all these different things. There's the only 2 people that you can be in quarantine.
Can we talk about how realistic that transformation was, though? Bubbly personality housewife to just drunk mom. That happens to a lot of people. Not hating. And they aren't in quarantine. They're just, living.
What they were missing in this, and maybe this would have put it into a different genre, is Sissy Spacek trying to, drown Brendan Fraser in a bathtub. I feel like that would have totally happened 35 years in quarantine.
I would have loved to see her drunkenly try to find Brendan Fraser. Like, you know how she goes up the elevator in that one scene and then just goes right back down? I would have loved her to see just that martini glasses spin around, just be like...
Did you catch the Carrie reference? How she was totally shrouded in red light for that scene?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was intentional. It is interesting, this movie using the Cuban Missile Crisis as the setup and living through a historical time ourselves right now. Like, how many, total screenplays do you think are being written right now? Rom-coms about, COVID-19 people who met before the crisis and are doing a long-distance thing. Everyone's rushing to get that movie made right now.
They're probably making some horror movie where, people trapped in quarantine are, murdering each other, some thrillers like that. Matt, what is the screenplay you're working on?
Oh, I'm not. See, I want to get my movies shown in a movie theater, and I don't think movie theaters are opening back up anytime, ever.
Yeah,
so,
I'm almost wondering if movie theaters are going to become a boutique experience after this. Because I know AMC is really hurting right now. They're in financial crisis. Yeah.
I think movie theaters are going to become like Zoom.
Yeah, kind of.
Netflix watch parties are a thing now.
Right.
Yeah, and they did release Invisible Man, Onward, all this stuff. They released it to purchase for $20.
Yeah, but nobody's watching.
Yeah, is anyone gonna pay $20 for a digital rental though? I value the theater experience.
Onward is free if you got Disney Plus, and I have zero interest in that app. I don't think I've opened that app up since Mandalorian ended.
How is Onward?
No one's seen it.
No one's seen it.
I kind of want to see it.
It's on Disney Plus right now. This episode is brought to you by Disney's and Pixar's Onward, available now on Disney Plus.
Sponsor us, please. I think you guys would be surprised. I think a lot of people in the future will take advantage of paying $20 for a digital movie because, people have kids and you can pause. You don't have to pay $1 million for snacks.
That's true. That's for family value. That'd be like $100 outing for an evening. Yeah.
Exactly. So I do think that the purists like you and Matt will lose out, but I don't think they care about you two anymore.
Well, they haven't cared about people like us for a long time.
You think legitimately the genie's out of the bottle now, though, right?
Absolutely.
The multiplexes aren't going to be a thing, and it's going to be just independent theaters now is the only way you're going to be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That little 4-screen theater.
Yep, the Maple and the Royal Oak, Maine, all that.
One thing I will say I did like about this movie, I liked Brendan Fraser's interactions with the more minor characters, like the meat dude or the hotel concierge. I felt those were very downplayed and subtle, which I would not expect from a movie like this.
I was dying at the mail lady.
Yes.
What are you looking at?
Oh, my lucky stars, a Negro.
Say what?
How do you do, ma'am?
I do all right.
Good.
Problem a lot of these screwball comedies face is that they make every single character zany, so the main character doesn't really stand out, but you need straight characters for that guy to play off of,
And everybody was pretty much a straight character. Even the bartender to a degree was a straight character. You saw the progression.
Bartender, okay, no, he was the one that was over the top. I was not a fan of the whole religious angle to that.
What else would a heroin addict, who has a bar, what else would he be?
So 1962 to 1999, it wasn't that big of a culture shock like it was, but would be interesting to see somebody 35 years from now trying to catch up in this world. Now
Did you just say that there wasn't that big of a difference in culture between 1962 and 1997?
Oh, my lucky stars, a Negro.
I did, but that's not what I meant.
There's a line where there's a computer in the house?
He has a computer
Sure.
in the house.
No, actually, it's in the backyard. Of course it's in the house. It's in there.
May I be excused, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's differences. I mean, it's the same but different. It'd be kind of the same.
I don't think that they fully capitalized on that. Like, there were definitely missed opportunities to draw those comparisons. Like,
oh, for sure.
I feel like this movie, Horatiu, you described it as like Forrest Gump in a bomb shelter. And yeah, I mean, like, I think what separates Forrest Gump from this movie is it has more to say. This movie is really shallow. Like, there's a scene where Brendan Fraser is skating around Venice Park, and he skates right past all these homeless people.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this is an interesting moment for social commentary. And like, it's kind of a metaphor for the entire movie. He literally just skates right past it without saying anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
oh, look at the girls in bikinis.
Miss out on the opportunity for a lot of social commentary where Forrest Gump capitalizes on.
Okay, but this is not a social commentary movie. I mean, I don't think any movie with Christopher Walken is a social commentary movie. Okay.
Wedding Crashers.
Okay, I guess
Wedding Crashers is super deep.
Yeah, very deep. They really tackle hard-hitting questions like...
Don't f*** with the lore of Wedding Crashers, all right, motherfucker?
Share that with the Dalai Lama, jackass.
Don't try to look at this for social commentary. This is literally just, 1960s in the 90s, so...
There are no surprises in this movie. It follows the 3-act structure to a T, and every character is a stereotype and fulfills that role. Comparing this to other comedies, like modern comedies, like Judd Apatow and stuff. He was filming Knocked Up, and he had this scene with, like, Leslie Mann trying to get into a club, and the bouncer turns her away because she's too old. That would normally be where the scene ends, and then there's another beat, and the bouncer goes like...
I f***ing hate this job. I don't want to be the one to pass judgment, decide who gets in. It makes me sick to my stomach.
It, like, humanizes him a bit. That's what's missing from this movie.
I mean, the 90s were just kind of a face value time, though. I mean, there wasn't a lot of, like, deep, like, oh, how am I affecting other people? It was definitely let's just do this because it's what we're doing.
Yeah, I always look at the 90s as, like, the super candy-coated decade of, like, America so far, like that in our lives, it was like only surface value. I know you could argue that now we're more surface value than ever before because everyone's concerned about the Instagram likes and who's subscribing to their YouTube channel and who's following them on Gmail, all that shit. But there was no substance to the 90s.
We're almost like ahead of the curve here reviewing this movie because 80s nostalgia is the big thing right now with Stranger Things. Do you think like we're due for a wave of 90s nostalgia given this traumatic experience?
We're past 90s nostalgia. We're in 2000s nostalgia territory.
Oh yeah, you think so?
It's typically 20 years.
Captain Marvel just came out and that was like a total 90s nostalgia movie.
Right. I agree with Dan. I think there's a wave coming and it's just going to be a bunch of 90s nostalgia.
I think it's going to be early 2000s nostalgia. I don't think it's going to be 90s.
I think like what we're talking about here, like historically, like if you look at like 9/11, a lot of people say that 9/11 was the instigator.
Bring up 9/11 with Matt McCormick.
I know, Matt, you should be on this. 9/11 kind of instigated the wave of Marvel escapist cinema. In the 70s, we were like dealing with a lot more heady drama, real themes, existentialist fears, and our cinema has become remaking Spider-Man over and over again because it's just escapist fantasy. And that was instigated because of 9/11. And now we have another traumatic event happening globally.
Well, 9/11 more directly influenced horror because of how everyone experienced 9/11 was through TV. And you'll see a lot, especially in action movies post 9/11, like War of the Worlds, Man of Steel. There's a lot of callback to that imagery, and it definitely affected, I would say, those genres more so than the cinema as a whole. Things became more real. So, like, you stopped seeing a lot of monsters in horror movies and started seeing more, like, legitimate things that you should be afraid of.
Wow, that was deep. I never thought that ever. I don't go deep like you guys.
War of the Worlds, Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds was like, he directly said like this was a big influence.
Oh yeah, I mean just the image of like the dust of her. I keep forgetting Brian's here. The imagery of like everyone totally coated in dust from War of the Worlds, that was directly influenced by 9/11, that imagery.
Man, there's a lot of deep stuff to movies that you guys really opened my eyes to. I didn't know who Ingmar Bergman was in the last review, and
Jesus.
Now I don't know that 9/11 like brought in this wave of escapism, and damn, like why am I on this show? You've seen my letterbox, you know what I watch.
You watch movies I've never even heard of on Letterboxd. Shanghai Soccer or something.
You've never heard of Kung Fu Hustle? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, literally everything you log, dude. I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
You're welcome. Maybe you should try it.
The only thing left to talk about is really Alicia Silverstone and the whole romance aspect of the movie.
She was there. She played girl.
I did not buy it whatsoever. Like, talking about Brendan Fraser's other fish out of water movies, I haven't seen Encino Man, but like George of the Jungle, I totally, like, you can understand the love connection there. You do not. He just seems like it comes off as a crazy guy in this movie.
I've never seen George of the Jungle, so I can't comment.
For whatever reason, we owned that on VHS as kids, and that was just on like 24/7. You know, when you had limited options as a kid.
Alicia Silverstone in this, she was a opportunistic money-grubbing whore. That's what I think.
No. She returned the baseball card.
After 5 days, she fell in love with this guy. And she turned him into a psychiatrist. And then went looking for him to apologize after she found out that, oh, he's worth millions. He fell in love with every girl that he met because he was just looking for someone to carry his seed and to make a baby with, so underground.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about the romantic relationship. It didn't make any sense.
She was just the it girl during that time. And so they were like, we need a good love connection for this guy. It's going to be Alicia Silverstone because everybody knows her name.
Get this, guys. She was just in Batman Forever. We're going to put her in a comedy. Everybody knows her face.
Everyone is, where are the articles being written? What happened to Alicia Silverstone's career? No one asks about that. No one asks about female careers.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo. Today, we're taking a look at whatever happened to Alicia Silverstone.
Actress Alicia Silverstone was once the prom queen of a generation. Here's the real reason we don't hear about Alicia Silverstone anymore.
I don't feel like she had a very lucrative career.
Clueless is her big movie. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, Clueless. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, but also remember that this is from a different era where you could make one or two big movies and be set forever.
You guys know how she got popular?
Porno?
Aerosmith videos.
Oh.
Porno.
She was like in 3 of them, and that's how she got super noticed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And that one...
I was crying when I met you.
Perfect. Keep going, Brian.
Dying to forget you.
Woo!
Isn't that? No, that's not the one from Armageddon.
No, that was Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Don't want to close your eyes.
Don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, girl. And I don't want to miss a thing.
You know, my boss's kid actually goes to school with Alicia Silverstone's kid.
Oh.
What?
Like, they're family friends, actually. They have dinner and stuff.
Oh.
Interesting anecdote.
So you're going to tell them about this?
Yeah, tell them about this, how we were talking them.
I got to forward that.
You know what really bothered me about Alicia Silverstone and stuff? Like, the
what
movie
really bothered
that
you about Alicia Silverstone and stuff?
The Batman movie.
Yeah, I'm really interested to hear this. Go ahead and start over, because I want to make sure we got clean audio. I really want to hear this.
The Batman movie that she was in was the one where they featured the bat nipples, right? On Batman and on Robin. But you know who they didn't feature them on? Alicia Silverstone. That's sexism. If we're gonna show bat nipples, bat suit nipples on Batman and Robin, Batgirl should have also had bat nipples.
Ugh, as if.
That's so progressive of you, and you're just calling her a gold-digging whore.
Why do you think they made this movie?
I couldn't tell you, Brian. Honestly, there's a reason that only us are talking about it in the year 2020.
During a quarantine.
It's the only way it's getting watched. We're out of other shit to watch right now.
You can only watch Tiger King so many times.
'Cause I saw Tiger, now I understand. Well, I saw Tiger, Tiger saw me.
So with that, what are y'all gonna give this out of 5 whatevers?
I'm gonna give this 3.5 Christopher Walkens out of 5 Christopher Walkens.
It's generous.
I am gonna give it 3 out of 5. Passed out, drunk on patio furniture, Sissy Spacek. However you
Spaceship.
say it. Because she was by far my favorite character in this movie. And it was a fun movie to just watch and turn off your brain. during this weird time of uncertainty and death.
I'm gonna give it 2.5 piping hot Dr. Peppers.
Woo!
Should bring him sandwiches and hot Dr. Pepper.
You drink it hot? Is it hot to boil it? Or is it just room temperature?
Yeah, what is that, Dan?
It's boiling hot, just like in the movie.
Brian, how many out of 5 whatevers? What would you give this movie?
I'm gonna give it 1.2.3.
Okay.
Brendan Fraser's escaping a cave from the Mummy.
Okay. All right.
I am going to throw to commercial and run to the restroom. So you guys, you can vamp if you want. And when we come back, I think we're just gonna, this is a more relaxed episode. Maybe we'll just shoot the about Corona a bit and then do the Mailfern.
Yeah, stay tuned, because when we come back, we're gonna shoot the about Corona. Snap into a Slim Jim, mother.
We're back. I'm on my last root beer, boys.
Uh-oh.
So when this is done, I'm just peacing out.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Where the hell are you, Matt? I'm scared. Where the f*** are you, Matt? I mean, are you in a garage or something?
Yeah, I'm in my garage.
That's his house, dude. Be polite. Matt lives in a shack.
What the hell's wrong with you, man?
Every winter is a struggle because there's no insulation here. I got windows that don't close. I got that door, and when I'm sleeping, it'll just.
Daddy Warbucks Bukantis over there, just making fun of
the less fortunate.
God,
it's my rape garage.
What'd you just call it, Matt? Say that so that everyone hears that.
It's my rape garage. That's RAPE garage. See, if you look around, you can tell that it's very very rapey.
Do we want to give tours of our shelter spaces here? This is my bed here. This is where the magic happens every night. And,
do you pleasure yourself really hard every night? Is that why?
There's Michael Myers. He oversees all of my sexual conquests. That's signed by Nick Castle, who played.
All
Michael
right,
Myers.
we get it. You meet people in Hollywood. Off.
65-inch TV. We don't around here. And that's basically it.
This is my home office. I have a couple I'm using the GoPro because I have equipment. I have a couple of shelves. There's a vacuum over there. Closet here, just with random shit. And this table, it's just a folding, you guys can't see it, but it's just a folding beer pong table, if you will. So.
That's nice.
I conquered that beer pong table once upon a time.
I don't know if you did, Dan. I'm pretty sure you got really drunk and just passed out.
So yeah, guys, just how's it going? Like, I haven't talked to y'all since this whole thing started, really.
Yeah.
How have y'all been coping with this? What was your perception of the coronavirus? Like, when did you realize it was something serious and stuff? Like, take us through the narrative.
When you see people walking down the street in China with Ghostbuster packs on their back, spraying shit in the air, you know we got a f***ing problem, right?
And that shit was going on in like early January, so that's when I was like, oh,
that was late
again.
December.
Yeah, and that just goes to show how long we have it, how long we can expect this to go on for.
I honestly thought that this was just going to blow over. I thought this was another kind of like SARS. And I know that was like serious for some people, obviously, but to the level of this, it's definitely not. I just thought it was going to be something that another country, typical American mentality. I was just like, yeah, this isn't going to touch me in Southeast Detroit, Michigan. Everything's going to be fine. Hunky dory. And then this happens. 12 days, I think, in quarantine since March 24th, and it's April.
This is we're day 17 mandatory quarantine for LA here.
I'm quarantined never because I'm an American citizen who has the Constitution.
For me, it was like March 14th or so. Like, that's like the day before, everyone was just kind of like clowning on the virus, and then the next day it was like everyone you know and you are f***ed. That's what it was. That's like the narrative, what happened.
It's definitely nice to still, you can't see anybody except the people that you live with, or you shouldn't see people. That's what they're telling us. So it is nice to have these kind of virtual outlets and be able to connect with 3 of my best friends ever, you know, talk about some stupid movie and really escape a little bit. Well, 2 of my best friends ever and this weird masked man that I have no idea actually who he is. It's his name, if you hover over him, it's Hayabusa Kage, so it's very strange.
What are you guys gonna do when the virus ends, but the government doesn't give up its emergency powers?
Yeah, see,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's a Palpatine scenario. The government is gonna get this like emergency power, and they're gonna Palpatine it. They're gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna give it back. I like it the way it is.
I love democracy. I love the Republic. The power you give me, I will lay down when this crisis has abated.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
I'm not worried about Trump doing it, but I am worried about literally every other politician.
I think things will go back to normal, but it's going to be a weird normal. I think there's going to be
the world has changed forever after this.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that we used to do that we're not going to be able to do. Where there's going to be a lot of businesses that aren't going to be around that used to be around, and we're not going to recognize a lot of the world.
A lot of people are saying like that we're not gonna sink into another Great Depression, that like this is more of a temporary thing where like there's gonna be like a big bounce back. Do you guys like kind of like buy into that, or is that wishful thinking?
I think. Oh no, that's wishful thinking by leaps and measures. That's. I mean, I'm not even calling that
I've
wishful
heard some
thinking.
people,
I'm calling that ignorant thinking.
But it is interesting, like everyone's kind of like hoarding cash right now. Like I know everyone's getting the stimulus checks and stuff. Like some people are concerned that's going to lead to inflation, but I've heard some people speculate that it could be like, since everyone's just hoarding cash, like it could lead to deflation.
It's more so it's a borrowing on ourselves. So there's not going to be any inflation. Essentially what's happening is that we're borrowing money that we would pay in the future. So we're taking future gains and spending them now. And in the future, we just won't have those gains. But if there is going to be inflation, it's going to be because of a depression, not because of the money in the market. It's going to be because of no one having any.
Does anyone have any like definitive statements or predictions they want to make? Like, because like I said, this episode's not going to be released for like 2 months, so it might be kind of interesting to, if like you're like dead on the money, we'll include it in the episode.
So I think one thing for sure is that we're going to help the environment by doing this.
Oh, dude, you can see the stars in LA at night. It's insane.
Exactly.
Like the smog is cleared up so quickly.
I think that the coming conflict from this will cost much more life than the virus itself will.
You're predicting like riots and stuff?
Oh, I'm predicting Third World War. I think that any idea that this isn't going to get insanely worse in ways that aren't related to the virus is naive. Venezuela already started shooting cruise ships. Venezuela's already taken action. People are mad at China. Yeah, China. We're in this situation because of China. China. People are mad at us. Everyone's mad at each other. And it's only a matter of time before diplomacy breaks down.
The solace that we can take from that is that I think we're all too old to be drafted, so...
We are. Everybody officially. Dan crossed the line.
All right.
Oh, really?
26.
High five, yeah.
He's 26. He made it.
I do think like just beyond whatever, the economic effects this is going to have, like I think legitimately like everyone is going to be emotionally scarred from this. You talk to like your grandma or something, or some old people that they'll like hoard everything or save some crusty old sandwich because they have a scarcity mindset, you know? Like I think that's legitimately
washing aluminum foil.
Yeah. Like it's completely insane that everyone's collectively going through this. Yeah.
It is really weird, and but you know, the only way we can get through this is by all banding together and keeping in contact with those that we care and that we love. So after this, I'm not gonna talk to you guys for a while.
You know what else is a really good way to get through this? Reading our email.
Email Fern. Email Fern. Email Fern. Yes, that is a good transition into it because we don't have the Mailfern with us.
Hold up. Did you say we're in Mailfern?
Email Fern.
We've officially entered the Email Fern space.
Oh snap.
Oh, nice.
Oh
Nice.
snap.
Nice. Look at that hair. Oh my God, Brian. And look, is that marijuana plants behind you? I know California is a legal state, but I don't know if you can have that many.
That is an essential business. It's still open.
Good. People need it.
So we did have a few emails concerning this movie and others. I got 3 of them, and they're with me now. So let me open one. Okay.
I'm ready.
This is from sexyboy24@hotmail.com for Matt.
Hey, sexyboyhot24@hotmail.com.
What is your ideal apocalypse?
Aliens.
And why?
It would be far more interesting to know that we were getting wiped out by a species smarter than us from outer space than to get wiped out by the same thing that took out the aliens in War of the Worlds.
Do you think COVID-19 is a cover-up for aliens?
No, I think COVID-19 is just China being China and not having their shit together.
So you want aliens to come and destroy the Earth or take over the Earth?
Aliens or something quick, like a nuclear war or something where it's just like...
And you don't want to live through it? You don't want to be like a raider trying to make ends meet?
Well, what's the point? I mean, at a certain point, your 50th murder is about your 50th murder. I mean...
Man, Matt, I thought you would actually be really excited for an apocalypse scenario.
Well, here's the thing. Is like when you're not in an apocalypse scenario, everyone is all excited for it. And then when you get into the apocalypse scenario, you don't want to be excited. You want to be calm, cool, and calculated.
Okay.
So, that's the mind frame I'm in, so that when motherfucker tries something, I come out on top.
All right.
I agree.
All right. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, I agree, Matt.
Right.
Thank you.
Moving on. So this is an email Fern for Dan Gordon from babyyoda@yahoo.com. What is the weirdest thing that you've had to resort to during this quarantine?
I've been very fortunate. Like I bought like a year's supply of toilet paper from Costco like before any of this even started. So I've been like totally... Yeah, I'm toilet paper rich.
Wow.
Ooh. And I don't know what your grocery store situations have been like, but for me, like I've gone 4 times since this started, and every time it's gotten better. So
okay,
I've not adjusted my lifestyle too much aside from working from home, and that's almost better because I don't have to commute. So I'm coming out on top here,
All right, so no weird foods that you had to eat, no weird things you've had to do to your body to make it through.
No, I mean, I've been eating the same meal for 8 months right now because I was in training for a marathon, and then I was going to stop after the marathon, and then I just decided to keep it going because it's like, okay, now's the time to be healthy, so might as well just keep this habit going. Yeah, no, I'm very fortunate.
Good for you. Great that you can be fortunate while everybody else
that's not very
is
funny.
Yeah. All right. So who's got the one for me?
Oh yeah. So this is from Brian Bukantis. Who could that be?
Wow.
I've never heard.
Never heard of that name.
Who the f*** is that guy? Ah!
He says, "What was your last experience in a movie theater?"
Wow. Man, I don't even know.
Because that could be your last one ever,
That's true.
Feel free to consult your letterbox, because this is like, it's a historic thing, I saw Dr. No in 35mm at the Egyptian Theater, which is the first James Bond movie. And I was like, hey, if that's the last movie I've ever seen in theaters, that's quite apropos.
I saw 1917 at the Waterford MJR.
Oh, yeah. It's more fun at the MJR.
I'm still looking. I don't really know how to use this app very well, so
You don't know when the last time you went to a fucking movie was?
It's been forever. Hold on. Let me find out.
We have a movie review show.
December 19th, 2019, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, God. That's terrible.
Me too. Me too.
That's a terrible one to go out on.
I'm so sad that you guys went out. That's just,
I know. I know.
That's a bummer.
That is seriously a bummer to end this episode on, dude.
I know. I'm sorry. But we're not ending it on it because we do have an all play.
Oh, yes, Salvation.
Yes. All right, so the all play, this one came from nobody. There is no return address. I don't know how you can do that on email. But this one's is, what hobby would you pick up if you were in a fallout shelter for 35 years?
Tantric masturbation.
I knew you were going to say something about masturbation.
I mean, I'm pretty much stuck in my house right now, my rental right now. So I mean, like, what I've just been doing is jumping rope to cope with everything. So that's my literal answer, jumping rope. That's what I'm doing at the end of the world, guys.
All right. I would probably get really into hard drugs and alcohol.
Sissy Spacek
Solid.
type. Yeah.
Solid.
Frozen margaritas.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That brings us to the end of the take, you guys. Like, season 4, hopefully not the last season ever. Hopefully, like, we survive just like the cockroaches or like the mammals, the rats in the Ice Age.
Oh, season 5 is coming. Season 5 is coming hard. We're coming in with sponsors. Before season 5 is up, we're gonna have Monster. We're gonna have G Fuel. We're gonna have Raid Shadow Legends. What else is there? We're gonna have NordVPN, Squarespace. We're gonna have them all, boys.
We are harder to kill than cockroaches. We will be around forever until the world literally fucking explodes. So watch out for the Mailfern.
Dan.
Brian.
Take us out with a song.
I'm glad you said that, Brian, because if y'all remember, I did take the season 1 finale back in, what year was that? 2017, 2016? 2009,
I think. A long time ago.
Good Lord. Yeah, we ended that with an original song. And, I came up with another original song because I felt like I just needed, like, to help people through hard times.
Okay.
And maybe y'all could sing along. Even though, like, it's a completely original song I just wrote, maybe you just inherently know the lyrics.
Okay.
Jesus. Woo! I'm ready. Suspense.
Imagine all the people.
That's some out of here.
Sharing all the world with you.
Oh boy.
You say I'm a dreamer. But I'm not the only one. You'll join us. And the world will live as one.